Our next fight is the 1986 WBC heavyweight title fight from Las Vegas. 20-year-old Mike Tyson looking to break the record set by Amato's first heavyweight champion, Floyd Patterson. In his way stood 32-year-old Trevor Berbick, the champion coming into the bout with a 31-4-1 record. Here's Bob Sheridan with the call in round one.
Both of you, now listen. If you get in close and I tell you to break, you stop punching and step back clean. Any question from the challenger or chief second? Any question from the champion or chief second? All right, let's get it on. Come on.
All right, and with the words of Mills Lane, we're ready. I don't know about you folks, but here at the Hilton Hotel, there is electricity in the crowd. I've got goosebumps. On the line, the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Trevor Berbick will try to stop Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson has trained his whole life for this. Look at him, Tyson to the right of your screen, Berbick in the corner to your left. We're just about ready for round one, and let's watch how quick Tyson will jump on Trevor Berbick. His whole life has been for this night, but Trevor wants to prove that he's one of the great champions. Let's see how long his reign lasts. Mike Tyson kind of feeling him out here, but he goes with that right-hand lead right away. You get the idea now that Berbick is showing a little false bravado here. Standing toe-to-toe is not the way. If he doesn't pump that jab in the face, Tyson will come right through him. Tyson with the left, bounces it off the forehead of Trevor. Trevor tries to work underneath. Tyson will have no part of it. Notice the movement of the head of Mike Tyson as he takes a light left jab. Tyson will be able to get underneath it. Oh, wow! With a right, another left hook that just raises. Trevor, with this bravado, could get in some big trouble in a hurry. He's taking big chances with Tyson, not feeling him out at all. This early going in round one, a lot better than we thought it might be. Trevor came to fight. But this is exactly what Tyson likes. Notice that Berbick is standing directly in front of him. That is, a left hook that really caught him. That is disaster for all of the opponents of Mike Tyson. He's standing flat-footed right in front of him, and he's going to get clipped. Believe me, folks, he's going down. You can't fight Tyson this way. It's great that he has the courage, but this is a poor fight plan. Oh, the right hand gets him behind the left ear. Berbick tries to push him off. Not the way to keep him up. Notice the lazy left. Watch Tyson load up with left and rights. He knows that he can score now. Mike Tyson to the right of your screen, shorter, heavier, younger, and bolder than Trevor Berbick. Berbick has felt the wrath of the right and the left hands of Mike Tyson in what just in round one. Tyson clips him with a light left that time. You get the idea that Mike, as soon as, a right hand, but the left hook right there. Notice Tyson throws him in twos and threes. Trevor is getting lazy with the left hand. Notice the left hand is not pumping like it was against Pinklin Thomas when he won the title. That's a fear factor. He's away from his bravado in the early going of this round. Tyson having a good first round. Wow, with the uppercut, misses the left hook. Tyson is in total command in his head. He knows he can beat this guy right now. Notice Trevor not doing anything right now. He doesn't want to be in here with Tyson. He needs to use his 7 inches in reach, and you can't use it when you're head-to-head like this. Now the left should be pumping. Instead, Tyson will walk right through it. See this? Tyson walking right through. He's wild with the left hook as Berbick, and Tyson clips him with the left hand. Look at this. Combination. And Berbick ready to go, but he stays on his feet. Another right hand clips him. He can't take shots like this very long. Wow, with the right hand is Mike. Again, he's blocked. Catches him with a left hook. Trevor's ready to go again. Tyson knows that he can score at will now. Berbick doing nothing like he did against Pinklin Thomas. Fighting in the wrong position. Not using the jab of the bell ends. Round one. A good round one for Mike Tyson. Woo! Well, at least Berbick didn't go down in the first round, but he's been staggered. Let's listen into the corner. Notice the replay where Tyson is getting through with the right hand, the left hook. He throws punches in bunches, and I learned that line from Angelo Dundee, who happens to be working with Trevor Berbick. but it's not Berbick who's throwing the bunches of punches. You see him staggered, you see the legs ready to go. Make no mistake, Tyson is in command. This may not go very long because he's got tremendous confidence now. Tyson already off his stool. Here's Trevor Berbick. This is round 2. The WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Trevor Berbick and Mike Tyson. Tyson goes to work right away, and he's got Trevor in trouble, and he's down. He'll have to take the standing 8 count as he steps right up. The counts to 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and he says he's okay. Mills Lane lets them continue. Here comes Tyson again. He knows he can hurt him anytime. Left hook, right hand. Again, Trevor hanging on. But this is a defensive mode now. Trevor not trying to do anything offensively. Tyson has him under control. Left hook light. Watch for the uppercut. There it is. Didn't land, but he has the idea. Wild with the right hand is Mike. Mike throwing caution to the wind. He's in total command in this fight right now. We're only in round 2, and the heavyweight champ already reeling is Trevor Berbick. You know, Mike Tyson gets fined $5,000 for wearing black trunks. He is the challenger here tonight, believe it or not. He looks like the champion right now, and it may not be too long before he wears that belt. Wild on the break, and Mills Lane warns Trevor about it. Trevor trying to do all he can, but what he's not doing is holding off Mike with the left. And you see the light left hook by Mike in the right hand. Mike knows he can hurt him. He had him down once in this round, wants to drop him again in a hurry. Usually what Tyson does is take that little dip, come with the uppercut, and really bang to the body, underneath the heart, or crush the right side of the rib cage. Instead he goes to the body downstairs, catches him with the right hand upstairs. 2 good rights in there. Caught in a bit of a camera switch there, and another right hand landed. See Mike just pawing. He's trying to line up that right hand, and he'll be right behind it with a left hook. Mike doesn't throw just one punch. When he gets a guy in real trouble, he usually knows how to finish. Look at these shots. All landing to the head of Trevor Berbick. It's just a matter of time before Mike gets the clean shot. Berbick hanging on like Mitch Green did. Bone crusher Smith. Straight jab by Mike Tyson. 20 years old Mike Tyson on his way to becoming one of the youngest heavyweight champions of all time. Bangs the body. Wow, with that uppercut is Tyson. Catches him with a light left hook, and he goes down. He goes down. He should be able to get up from this. His legs may be shut. They are. As Trevor Berbick falls back into the ropes. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue. He's got the heart, but his body won't let him do what his mind wants to. And he's counted out. It'll be scored as a knockout. Mills Lane counted him out to 10. It's all over. We've got a brand new heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson. Well, Trevor Berbick was brave in the early going of round 1. And from about the midway point in round 1, he couldn't do anything. There's Jimmy Jacobs in there. Bill Caton also works with him. A very happy Don King. Kevin Rooney congratulates his champion. Jose Torres there in the ring with Mike as well. Former light heavyweight champion of the world. Trevor is disappointed, can't believe what's happened. And it's jubilation for the corner of this guy, Mike Tyson. Let's watch the finishing blow. Crushing right hand. Wow, with a left hook, then a right hand right in the temporal bone, and he's in trouble here. He reels backwards. That's the very first knockdown of the fight, and he's able to get back up, and you saw the punches that landed. He misses that uppercut, but notice it's all Tyson. Berbick doing nothing offensively, and he crashes down. Mills Lane sends him to the corner, and look at the courage. Again, his mind and heart want to get up, but his body won't allow him to. His legs are rubberized. Look at him. Mills Lane continues the count. And it'll be scored as a knockout for Mike Tyson. And that's it. He's not ready. And Mills Lane says, no, you're not back to your feet. It's all over. And we've got a brand new WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And he's a youngster named Mike Tyson, who can reign for a long, long time.
Well, there it is. Mike Tyson is the youngest heavyweight champion of all time, something of great significance to him as he supplants Floyd Patterson, also a custom model fighter, as the youngest champ of all time. Historical significance, Bert, of this achievement.
Well, I think there's a tremendous historical significance because He has now won a major place in history while winning a major place in the current heavyweight division. Remember, he's not yet the unified. There's only a portion. He's on his way there. But fans see what's happening. So they accord him that distinction, but he has built one for futures. Youngest heavyweight champ. And if he wins it at 21, what can the future hold? It's limitless.
One would think. Angelo Dundee, who was in the corner for Trevor Berbick, Teddy, said he throws combinations like I've never seen. Talk about that. Where did those combinations come from?
Well, in his training, I mean, of course, genetically, we talked about it before, he had the speed. You know, he had that kind of physicality. He had that ability. But it was developed in the gym in Catskill. There was a device called the Willie, where there was an apparatus on the wall that had numbers that signified different punches.
Named after Willie Pastrano for Jose
Yes,
Torres.
when Jose Torres, the light heavyweight, was getting ready to win the title, the light heavyweight title against Willie Pastrano. And tapes would be played, Cus would call out combinations, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, whatever the numbers were. And he would have to throw the punches in combination and defensively move in time after the punch.
It looks like he called out 911 here for Berbick.
Oh, well, it got up to 5, 6, 7, and the referee went 8, 9, 10.
Right. That was it, right.
But of course, it was about training. It was about habits. It was about design. There was a plan with Tyson in everything except the end.
But is it because of the repetitiveness of this that it becomes almost instinctive?
Well, that's the idea. Cus used to say all the time, hey, Atlas, you got to drill it into these guys until they couldn't do it wrong if they wanted to.
That's good.
That's
So
great
just
stuff.
go over and over.
Talk about and look, there's a lot of the other side of things with Mike Tyson, of course, but this partially, Teddy, is the dream fulfilled. I mean, this is part of it. Talk about that, about the plan now basically being achieved.
Yeah, I wasn't there, of course, but the plan and the dream achieved for Cus, even though Cus is gone. Tyson knew that Cus wanted him to be not just heavyweight champ, but a special heavyweight champ. And one way to be special is to be the youngest. Mm-hmm. And so that was achieved. Your mentor, his wish was fulfilled, even though he's gone now. And of course, Tyson, now is on the scene. He's the king now. And I think Bert touched on it historically. It was important because boxing has ups and downs. It's got its valleys, its peaks, it's got its lows, and it's always looking for the next guy to excite the sport. It really is, because it's driven by that guy, whether it was Ali.
Particularly in the heavyweight division.
Whether it was Ali, whether later on was Sugar Ray Leonard, who made an exception as a welterweight, and later on in other weights. But those kind of guys, and there was no one there. So what better way to blow the trumpets than a guy not only come out and knock a guy out and make him fall this way and fall that way, but to be the youngest guy.
I mean, here's Berbick basically outstripping the Union level for falling down. The scale is 1 hit, 1 down. Mm-hmm. He gets hit once and goes down 3 times. That the people who saw the fight remember.
Yep.
This is This is more than Kid Dynamite.
And this is the thought in the camp at the time I was there. I was watching the fight with Camille Ewald at the house, actually. Watched that fight, and the thought at the time was, this sets the scene now for the rest of the heavyweight division. It sent a chill through the division, Teddy.
It's intimidating.
That they saw that, and they said, wow, so this guy is doing it now to real guys, no matter how valid the belt is.
And you know what? It worked in to help him hide his weakness. His weakness was resistance. He didn't deal with resistance well. He was like the pipes, the old story. You go into a house you're going to buy, you want to see if the heating works. So the guy who's selling your house puts on 70. Hey, everything beautiful. I want to see it on 90. All of a sudden, pop, 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 you see the pinholes come out of the pipes. When the steam is up. Well, the steam wasn't up on Tyson yet, but this helped keep the steam from ever being turned up, because to come on the scene in this kind of intimidating way was going to clear the path for the future for Tyson, because a lot of guys were going to be broken before they ever got in the ring, and they couldn't expose them.
Excellent stuff. Teddy, Bert, we're both here. We're here at Gleason's gym. We've got much more coming up. We're going to take a look ahead now, and we're also going to get a visit from Larry Holmes. Again, Larry Holmes, the champion, while Mike Tyson is on the way up, and a man who would step in against Iron Mike. We're back at Gleason's gym after this. We continue along here, ringside Mike Tyson. We're at Gleason's Gym in Brooklyn. Brian Kenny, Burt Randolph, Sugar, Teddy Atlas, and we're now joined by the longtime heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes. Good to have you here, Larry. All right, now we're talking about, this is 1988, and you exited the scene temporarily in 1985 after the disappointment of the loss to Michael Spinks, the split decision loss, which I know you don't think you lost that fight. Most agree with you.
Right.
What are your thoughts, though, as now this new guy comes up, Mike Tyson? What are you thinking when you see Tyson?
Well, I thought he was going to be a tough guy to beat because he had the style, weaving and bobbing like Joe Frazier, had the punching power like George Foreman, and I thought he was going to be very tough to beat.
All right, against Trevor Berbick, what are your thoughts? Again, he's trying to become the youngest heavyweight champion of all time. He ends up showing incredible power against Berbick. What were your thoughts?
I thought he would get to Berbick because Berbick had an awkward style, but I didn't think Tyson would be able to get to him as quick as he did because of the awkward style that Berbick had. But Tyson was possessive, he was strong, and he's more determined to win that title and be the youngest again.
He fell awkwardly.
And again and again and again. You know.
As you're watching this, are you thinking, I'm going to get in there with that guy at some point, Tyson?
No, I had no retirement was on my mind. I was going to stay retired. I didn't have no idea about coming out of retirement to fight again. But that one night, lonely night, Don King knocked on my door a year or so later, 2 years later, and talked me into coming out of retirement. And I guess the money that he offered me, I couldn't refuse it.
Hey, you know, Teddy and I never coincided actually at the Custom Auto Club in Catskill, but I know when I was there, and the thought with Kevin Rooney at the time was, you know, Tyson was ready at 18 or 19, except for that man right there with all of his experience. When you had Tyson as an amateur, and this is the champ, what were your thoughts? Because you had to think at some point, my guy, Tyson at the time, is going to collide with someone like this.
Yeah, it wasn't realistic that he was that close to fighting Larry Holmes. But I'll tell you something very interesting. Custom Auto, when I was training Tyson at that time, about 14 years old, used to talk about the potential matchup of fighting Larry Holmes, saying if you were fighting him now, if you were able to be in that position of experience, you could time him with the right hand. I remember that he really felt, that Cus really felt that if there was one flaw to Larry's was he jabbed, he didn't move his head. And that if you got in position, you could time him with a right hand. And he used to drill that. I remember over and over say to Tyson, if you were fighting Holmes now, you could get close enough as long as you're not afraid to let the punch go. If you're not intimidated by his speed or by his experience or by his stature, and you let, or by the fact that you could get hit, and you let that right hand go, you're going to find the target. And as it turned out, the right hand, not the left hook.
The right hand, the one that hit
your
me.
nemesis.
One of the things that happened to me for that fight is the same thing. I was off 2 years, no training. Only had 6 weeks to get ready for the fight. My timing, everything was off. So therefore, when I did throw that jab, I dropped the right hand, and Tyson came over top and hit me on the top of the head, and you know, took my equilibrium off.
And
stuff like that.
you still had your moments. I think it's fascinating that in Catskill, in a quiet gym up there, you're talking about Larry Holmes with Mike Tyson.
But they should have been talking about a young Larry Holmes,
right,
not an old one.
That's true. But now, by the time it does happen, of course, it's an older Larry Holmes. He comes back. Let's pick it up. Round number 1, Larry Holmes challenging for the title against Mike Tyson.
I would like to acknowledge a man here in the ring who is indeed a man of heavyweight history. In 1960, he was an Olympic gold medal champion. In 1964, he became the heavyweight champion of the world. In 1974, he again won the heavyweight title. And in 1978, he became the only man in heavyweight history to win 3 world championships. Ladies and gentlemen, the former 3-time heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali! Muhammad Ali! And now, Don King Productions and the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino present heavyweight history. This bout is presented in association with the undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser. It is sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard, Chairman Jerry Gormley, Deputy Commissioners Nick D. Balistrari and Lawrence Wallace. Representing the World Boxing Council, its President Jose Suleiman and Ringside Supervisor Dwayne Ford. Here for the World Boxing Association, legal counsel James J. Binns, Esquire. The three judges doing the scoring for this contest: Rudy Ortega, Nicasio Drake, and Charlie Spina. The timekeeper is Lindsey Tucker. Counting for the knockdown seconds, Frank Cappuccino. Chief ringside physician, Dr. Frank B. Doggett. Also in attendance, Dr. Charles Wilson and Dr. Stanley Eden. And the referee for this bout is Joe Cortez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the white trunks with red trim and weighs 225 3/4 pounds. From Easton, Pennsylvania. His professional record, 48 victories, only 2 defeats, 34 KOs. For 7.5 years, he ruled the division as an undefeated champion with 20 successful defenses. Tonight, he's the challenger. Ladies and gentlemen, the man known as the Eastern Assassin, former heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes! And in the red corner, wearing the solid black trunks, weighing 215 3/4 pounds, from Catskill, New York, which is the hometown of the late great trainer of champions, Amato. His professional record, a perfect 32-0, 28 KOs, 23 KOs in 4 rounds or less, and 16 knockouts in the first round. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
Round 1, the heavyweight championship of the world. Tyson quickly on top of Holmes, and he nails him right away. Larry ties him up. Now the big question, will Larry try to box him? Can that left jab keep him away? So far, Tyson is coming through it. Larry trying to keep it in his face. Larry almost looking awkward as he lunged forward with the left hand, trying to keep it in the face. Looking almost, certainly very, very cautious with Tyson. Ties Tyson up. We expect to see a lot of this throughout the fight. Tyson showing no respect so far, boring in the way he always does. Larry not on offense at all so far. He's been strictly a defensive fighter in the first round. Looking as though he's trying to survive this first round. Mike Tyson fighting as he has fought every other fight, just attacking his opponent from the opening bell. Larry looking almost slow with that slow right hand went over the head of Mike Tyson. Of course, this is the way you would expect to see Larry fight him, and wonder if it will frustrate the younger Mike Tyson. Tyson doing a nice job in this big 24-foot ring, cutting Holmes off in the corner. Larry lashes out with that left hand and then ties him up. Larry trying to take advantage of his reach advantage, keeping that left hand in the face of Mike Tyson. Tyson showing no respect for anything that Holmes does as he bores in, leading with the left hand. This is exactly the way to throw Tyson off balance, by shifting left and right and left and right. But the big question is, how long can Larry Holmes do it? Joe Cortez, the third man in the ring, the referee. Not a flush blow landed thus far in the fight. Larry Holmes really has only thrown about 1 or 2 punches so far in the first round. Holmes looking almost in fear of Mike Tyson in the first round. Mike not losing his cool.
All right, let it go, Cleve. Let it go, Larry. Larry, let him go.
Larry knows all the tricks of the trade. Knows exactly how to tie him up when he gets inside. He's not going to let Mike wail away with him.
Larry, get him down, Larry. Let's go. Come on.
And from the fights we've seen before, you can't afford to allow Mike Tyson to get loose once you hang on to him, because he's vicious with his uppercuts, left and right. Tyson just showing no fear of Holmes. Larry finally goes on offense at the closing bell. It's Tyson's round. This is round 2, scheduled for 12. The undisputed heavyweight championship of the world at stake. Mike Tyson attacks Larry Holmes. Holmes tying him up with one hand and both trying to wail with the other hand. Tyson is attacking Holmes the same way he has on every other opponent he's faced. Larry lets a right hand go that catches Tyson. No damage done at all. One of the big questions, if in fact Larry can nail Tyson. We've never seen Tyson hit, so we don't really know how he'll react to it. The way he's backing up, he's got to do something a little bit more than this if he's going to try to win some rounds here. At time they traded blows. Larry with a sneaky right hand almost caught Mike coming in.
All right, break out, let him go. Let him go, Larry.
38 years old, Larry Holmes is in magnificent shape. Big question is how long can his legs stay strong? There's a lot of pressure on him constantly in this fight. He has to stay moving and stay moving on those legs away from Mike Tyson. Larry giving plenty of respect to the champion. Larry lets the right hand go, but Mike very slick, ducks underneath it. Holmes comes with an uppercut of his own. Thus far in this round, we're at the midway point, a difficult round to score. Holmes looked again almost awkward throwing that right hand.
All right, let him go, Larry. Break out, please. Watch the elbow. Watch the hold. Let's go.
Joe Cortez, the referee, warning both fighters to watch the elbows. Larry just missed him with a right hand and almost nailed him on the chin. Larry got tagged that time, but he's all right. Tyson's blows just look so much heavier than when Larry throws a punch. Larry doing a nice job with the left, keeping it in the face, but the old Larry Holmes would have been snapping the left hand off. Instead, Larry's just holding it out, trying to keep Tyson off him, and then trying to land the right of his own. Thus far, he hasn't been able to really land anything.
Come on, Larry. Get him out there. Come on.
20 seconds to go in the second round.
Let's go. All right, Larry, break. Larry, you're holding it, Larry. Let's go.
Again, Tyson tries to put the pressure on Larry. Larry knows how to tie him up, and the bell ends round number 2. Now, if Larry has come here to survive, it's not going to be much of a fight. Holmes hasn't really opened up yet offensively. He's done a pretty good job defensively, but nonetheless, just based on aggressiveness and effective aggressiveness, you have to give Tyson the first 2 rounds. And if it continues this way, the same thing that happened in the Bone Crusher Smith fight, as well as the Mitch Blood Green fight, is going to happen in this fight. As we show you a replay, is Tyson boring in. Look at the look on Larry's face. He looks almost in total fear. He's off balance. Larry has got to start mustering some offense. He can't give away these early rounds like this and expect to be fresh at 38 years old as we get into the middle and late rounds. All right, this is round number 3. Tyson runs from his stool, attacks Holmes. He's going to keep the pressure on him constantly. At 21 years old, he feels he can wear him down. And just Larry going 3 minutes for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds. If it goes that far, he's going to run out of gas unless he's in better shape than most people believe he can get his body in. But he's got to start mounting some offense. Through the right hand that time, it hit Mike, but grazed him on the chin. Mike shakes his head no.
All right, bring out, let him go clean.
Mike is showing no respect for Holmes' punching power. Of course, Larry is a guy in his career that won his fights with accumulation of punches.
Come on.
Although he had at one time a wonderful streak of knockout wins, Holmes still won most of his fights by accumulating punches before his knockouts occurred. This is the third round.
All right, bring out clean. Let's go. Get the arms out. Get him out. Let's go.
Larry gets nailed by a crisp left hand as Tyson comes in.
All right, get his arms out. Come on.
And again, Tyson is doing what he was able to do in the first two rounds, and that's just continue to win the round. We're halfway through this, the third round. Mike attacks. Larry has brilliant defense. Mike really hasn't been able to catch him flush yet. Larry tries to do something inside, and Mike counters by throwing 4 or 5 punches. Mike almost has to reach up to get his 5'11.5". Larry is 6'3". Mike's head is right in the face of Holmes. Holmes knows brilliantly how to tie him up, and how frustrating it is.
Break out clean, let's go. Come on, yeah.
Larry with that left hand down, and he better not leave it down. He better keep it up in the face of this guy. Now Larry tries to work some uppercuts. This has been more of an aggressive round for Holmes, but not good enough to win the round. Seconds to go in this, the third round. Now Cortez says to Mike to keep your hands up. Oh, first good right hand landed. That was right at the bell.
Okay, all right,
You're looking in the corner of Larry Holmes. You hear them talking to him.
You gotta go.
Watch this. This is the part right at the end of the round. He caught Larry flush that time. Larry able to shake it off and come back with a shot of his own. Now the bell sounds here, and that was a situation which you hear some guys in the background yelling you're a dirty fighter or whatever. Mike, who's had trouble with a bloody nose in training, has a bit of blood trickling from his nose now. But that's not a question of dirty fighting. When you hear the bell and you're in the middle of a combination of punches, you don't stop. So nothing dirty about the fight so far. We're coming up to round number 4. I believe Tyson has won all 3 of the first 3 rounds. This is round 4. Let's see if Larry can pick up the offense a bit. Larry up on his toes now. This is the way a young Larry Holmes would have fought Mike Tyson. Now Holmes is maybe going to open up some offense here. The crowd loves to see this. Larry definitely a sentimental favorite. You see that head right in the face of Larry Holmes. Nothing said by Joe Cortez about that. Here's Tyson attacking again. Larry knows exactly how to take away that punching power in tight. Larry has a more confident look on his face now than he had in the first round. Left hook caught him that time, though. Can't get too cute with this guy. You've got to keep moving.
All right, break out clean.
Larry has all the rig savvy that a lot of the fighters that Mike Tyson has faced have not possessed. Tyson bores in, no damage done here at all. He's got that face right in the chin and the cheek of Larry Holmes again.
Let's go, come on.
And again, Larry knows how to tie him up. When Larry was up on his toes and sticking and moving with that left hand, that's the way to fight Mike Tyson. But a 38-year-old Larry Holmes cannot continue that round after round. Oh, a big right hand, and down goes the former champion. He was nailed right in the button. The count is up to 6, 7, and 8. Larry is hurt. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive this round. He's definitely hurt. His legs are gone. And in comes Mike. There was a big right hand. Larry's nailed again. Down he goes. I don't know if he'll be able to continue. It's up to 4 and 5. His eyes are clear.
7. How do you feel?
It's up to 7 and 8. He's going to be able to continue. Tyson knows he has him in trouble. It's just a matter of time. Larry will not survive this round. He's trying to fight back with everything he has. He's trying desperately, but this is not the same age man that was able to do it against Ronaldo Snipes. He goes with a big right hand, the left hook. Larry stays on his feet, showing tremendous heart. Nail with a left hook. Holmes is getting set up for the right hand. Here it comes, the left will come inside. There's the left, there's the right. Larry's ready to go again. He's hit with the left hand. 17 seconds. He may be able to get by the round now. He should be hanging on. Nail with the right hand, the left hand. He's got to hang on, or they'll stop the fight. Down he goes. Larry's hurt. It's all over. He is knocked out. It didn't even bother the count. It was a vicious right hand. It came like a bolt. We looked for it, and Larry got hurt. A big right hand ends the career of the former champion of the world. Mike Tyson proved to the world that he certainly is the undisputed heavyweight champion.
Well, Larry, I'm sorry you had to see that, and he'll relive that 20 title defenses, a 7-year reign as the heavyweight champion, but you did come back for the money, and you came back against Mike Tyson.
Right.
You had your moments. What were your thoughts when you got up on your toes and you said, all right, a little flash of the old days? What were your thoughts there?
Well, that was my plan, to go out there and make him do some different things in the 4th round. But, I didn't know I was going to be thrown off by my corner arguing with each other and stuff like that, and I just got caught. But Mike Tyson was strong, determined, and ducked an awful lot, and he caught me.
What was the argument in your corner? What was the argument about?
One guy was telling me this, and one guy was telling me that, and Richard Keddy didn't want nobody to say anything. He wanted to be the man that do all the talking. And it was just a whole bunch of confusing in my corner, and I was just unhappy to see that. Like I'm unhappy to see the punch now.
Yeah, I know you're not happy watching it once again.
But
Teddy,
it's all right.
Teddy, what's your analysis of this fight?
Well, it was what I was talking about before, even as incredible as it sounds, as a 15, 14-year-old Mike Tyson. I remember Cus talking about the one thing you can catch Holmes with is when he throws the jab, he's stationary, his body is stationary. And if you time the right hand, if you're not afraid of getting hit, if you can get close enough and time the right hand, you can find the mark. And you can see there, Tyson was finding the mark. And when you can punch like Tyson could punch, you're going to have effect. And as you see, he was able to have effect.
See, when Tyson knocked me down the second time, I had no balance. But one of the things I was doing, and when I backed up in the corners, I was trying to set him up, and my arm got caught in the ropes because I was setting him up for the uppercut. And my arm got really caught in the ropes, so I couldn't do anything. He hit me and went down the referee.
My feeling was Larry does something wrong that Tyson does something well. Larry, the one thing is he'll stand a little straight up sometimes and throw that jab, sometimes in a way you could time it. And one thing Tyson did at that point was he was able to time punches perfect. And he was able, obviously, to have effect.
If you watch here now, you'll see me get ready to throw the uppercut. I'm letting him shoot his shot, and my arm get caught in the ropes.
Oof.
And that's the punch
Couldn't
that I was
afford
setting
Yeah.
up.
And now you're open with your arm caught.
I'm open, so he comes in with a left hook.
I'm just curious, Larry, you were very good at seeing punches.
I could see.
And picking off punches, blocking punches. You didn't do a lot of head movement. Early on you used your legs a little bit, but you were mostly blocking. It's hard, though, to block punches when a guy's putting them together because you get handcuffed a little bit.
Mike Tyson wasn't really that. He was throwing them quickly, but they was wide, so I could see him.
But you were so busy blocking, you didn't have a chance to punch in between.
Yeah, right. He was doing like this and like this. I wanted him to get up in that 4th round because most fighters, even today, you can look at Mike Tyson, that comes out real hard for 4 or 5 rounds, they're tired. You can't fight a whole fight throwing hard punches every round.
But you weren't able to get to that point.
I was not able to get to that point because my arm got caught in the ropes, because I got caught with the
Evaluate, Larry, though. Evaluate Tyson, given that, this was, you're past your prime, although you went on to have a pretty good extended career after this, but evaluate a prime Mike Tyson. I mean, he's hair trigger fast. You have to give him that. Evaluate him against the great fighters that you faced.
Well, he is trigger fast, but I tell you what, anybody passing 5 or 6 rounds, Mike is in trouble. because he runs out of gas.
Even at that point, you think
Yeah,
he would have been in trouble?
because
Certainly later it was, but at this point, you think so too?
Yeah, because of George Foreman. Same thing with George Foreman. They run out of gas. Ernie Shavers, they run out of gas because they got so much in every punch. Even with the late Mike Tyson, been knocked out the last 3 times. Why? He goes out fast. He'd be winning the rounds, the fights, but then he gets tired. No guys come hit him with 2 or 3 shots. Mike Tyson lays out. And that's the problem. It's what you call management. They should have got him somebody to tune him up and keep him going, but they didn't. They wanted to make the big dollars and throw him out there with big guys that are going to catch him in the later rounds.
Mike Tyson's prime is only 5 years. Larry unfortunately caught him in that prime. But Mike Tyson, to Larry's point, really was taking out people so quickly, 17 consecutive knockouts, that you really didn't know if he could go the limit. He also, had 2 10-round decisions, Quick Tillis and Mitch Green, which may have given you an inkling that he may have had some problems with taller men. Not Larry, but coming up, a man named Buster Douglas.
Before we get to that, though, we're going to talk about the man who has the heavyweight championship. He had kind of abdicated it with all the belts in the HBO tournament, but Michael Spinks was still the guy that had taken the crown away from Larry Holmes. In 1988, finally, Tyson, Michael Spinks. We'll take a look at round number 1. This, a lot of people thought, finally consolidated all the heavyweights, finally, and to make one champion. We're going to take a look at that fight when we come back.
Everything that Tyson does is intimidating. I want to tell you, the electricity in this crowd is awesome.
Everything will be taken care of, I'm sure of. I'm just looking forward to taking care of Mr. Spinks. Perhaps he'll run or try to give me some cute move, be awkward, but I'm prepared for everything. I trained for 7 weeks and I had the most awkwardest sparring partners. And what can I say, I'm just ready to go.
Mike Spinks is now into the area where the crowd can't see him. Mike Spinks makes his way as the crowd touches him. He has more of a look of concern on his face as he makes his way to the ring. Remember, this guy is making some $13 million for this appearance. Countries all over the world, Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Scandinavia, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Germany, Italy, Spain, all over Europe watching. I can't count the number of countries in Africa that are watching us. And we're so pleased to have Australia and New Zealand all to see this. Michael Spinks makes his way into the ring. 31-0 with 21 knockouts. The former IBF heavyweight champion. This heavy metal sound that you hear is Mike Tyson about to make his way in, I believe. The sound is deafening here in the arena, so I won't try to yell over it. All I can say is the heavyweight champion is about to make his appearance in the ring. Obviously, Mike Tyson behind that crowd coming in. It's interesting to note that Mike Tyson selected as pre-fight music just noise. Every once in a while you hear the clanging of chains. I think that's what he's got in mind to do to Mike Spinks' head, but we'll wait and see. Everything that Tyson does is intimidating. There he is. He comes out. He doesn't wear a coat in. He's worked up a full sweat. I want to tell you, the electricity in this crowd is awesome. I haven't felt like this since it was about 4 o'clock in the morning one morning. We're in a place called Kinshasa, Zaire, when Muhammad Ali came in against George Foreman for the heavyweight championship of the world. That was in 1974. There have been other great sporting events, but I want to tell you, I've got goose pimples on my arms watching this event, and a lot of people in here do. Mike Tyson surrounded by security, his handlers as he comes in. Of course, he'll have Kevin Rooney in his corner. Steve Lott. You know all the history. You've been reading about it for the past several weeks. The heavyweight champion of the world comes into the ring. This is why we're here. Tyson looks the way he always does when he walks in. He's here strictly for business. He's got that scornful look on his face. Hey, let's get it going. In a while, you see him push the leather back on his gloves. It's like he wants to get his knuckles closer to the leather so he can get them on somebody's face, namely Mike Spinks in a hurry. Let's go to our ring announcer, Michael Buffer.
Mr. Donald Trump's Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino on the Boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Tonight, Don King Productions presents World Championship Boxing. This bout is presented with the approval of the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard, Chairman Jerry Gormley, Deputy Commissioners Nick D. Balistrari and Lawrence Wallace. It is sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation. At ringside, President Robert W. Lee. The ringside supervisor, Bill Brennan. The World Boxing Council is represented by President Jose Suleiman and representative of that organization, Dr. Elias Ganem. The World Boxing Association, its president, Gilberto Mendoza at ringside, along with James Jenkins, Esquire Legal Counsel, and Championship Committee Chairman, Dr. Elias M. Cordova. The three judges for this contest, John Stewart, Eva Shane, and Rocky Castellani. Chief ringside physician, Dr. Frank B. Doggett. Also at ringside, Dr. Stanley Eden and Dr. Charles Wilson. The timekeeper, Roosevelt Gilbert. And counting for the knockdown seconds, Joe Cortez. And the referee is Frank Cappuccino. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, two special introductions. First, in the ring at this time, the gentleman responsible for bringing this spectacular event to Atlantic City, and I would like him to be properly acknowledged. He's a man whose success in business epitomizes the American dream, the author of the year's best-selling book, The Art of the Deal. His vision and accomplishment make him the quintessential entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, New Jersey thanks him, our host for this great evening of championship boxing, Mr. Donald J. Trump. And another gentleman in the ring. In 1960, an Olympic gold medal winner. In 1964, the heavyweight championship. 10 years later, again, the world heavyweight champion. And in 1979, he won it an unprecedented third time. Perhaps he is the greatest of all time, ladies and gentlemen, a former three-time heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali. And now, ladies and gentlemen, once and for all, let's get ready to rumble. 12 rounds for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with black trim, and weighing in at 212 1/4 pounds. He's originally from St. Louis, Missouri, now lives in Wilmington, Delaware. This Olympic gold medal champion has a professional record of 31 victories without a loss, 21 by knockout. He is the former undisputed and undefeated light heavyweight champion of the world and the only king of that division ever to win the heavyweight title in the history of boxing. Because he never lost that title in the ring, he is still recognized by many, including Boxing Illustrated and Ring Magazine, as the heavyweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated man who brings the jigs, Michael Speed. fighting out of the red corner, wearing the solid black trunks and weighing 218 1/4 pounds, originally from the streets of Brooklyn. He passed through the hometown of the late great trainer of champions, Amato, Catskill, New York, and he now lives in North New Jersey. His professional record, 34 consecutive victories with 30 knockouts, including 26 KOs in 5 rounds or less, and 15 in the first round alone. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undisputed, the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
I want to tell you, this crowd is ready for it. Bob Sheridan here on the Don King Sports and Entertainment Network. As Frank Cappuccino calls them in, let's listen.
Both giving your instructions in the dressing room. Are there any questions by either of you? All right, both of you touch gloves. Good luck to both of you.
Millions and millions of dollars on the line. Billions of people literally around the world watching this fight. Hope you're enjoying it. Mike Tyson ready to go against Michael Spinks. At stake, the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. This is a 12-round fight. This is the only guy who many people think have an opportunity to do something against Iron Mike Tyson. Tyson dressed in his black trunks, no socks, no real flashiness to anything but his boxing. Michael Spinks, on the other hand, dressed in his white trunks with the black trim, the white shoes, and we're just about ready to go. The opening bell, let's see what's happens. Tyson attacks immediately, cuts off the ring, throws a wild right hand. This is round one, we're just underway. Spinks not able to hold him off so far with a jab. He tries to come back at him, but Tyson walks right through it. Tyson showing no fear, no respect at all here in round one. And Michael Spinks has to hang on for the first time in the fight. Frank Cappuccino has to separate the two. Absolutely no fear and no respect by Tyson for any jabs or anything that Mike Spinks can do. Tyson just looking for the opportunity to land a vicious left hook and then a right hand. While Michael Spinks was successful against Larry Holmes, an aging Larry Holmes, and he was successful against the guy that hadn't fought in a long time in Jerry Cooney, the right hand lands to the head of Mike Spinks. It's Tyson all the way here in round number one. Vicious shots to the body. Nothing really heavy landing yet, but he's taking them. The uppercut. Body shot, down goes Mike Spinks for the first time. The count is up to 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. That was a body shot that took him down. Here comes Mike Spinks in. He leads with the right hand. Down he goes. I don't think you'll get up from this. Mike Spinks is laying flat on his back. The count is up to 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. He won't be able to do it. It's all over. Mike Tyson has won it. Spinks almost fell back through a dramatic first round knockout for Mike Tyson. Unbelievable strike. It came in the first round. And the timer tells me 1:31 of the first round. One of the fastest knockouts in heavyweight history. It came at 1:31 of the first round. Mike Spinks was knocked cold. It happened right in front of us. I looked. Just had a body fly over us here. We just had a body fly over us here. It's a little wild in the ring right now. The security threw up some people right over us. We had a body flying over our heads here at ringside.
Please clear the ring. Clear the ring. Security.
Unbelievable. I want to tell you that I have never seen in a long, long while a guy taken out so viciously. Mike Spinks just did not have a chance against Mike Tyson. Michael Tyson just absolutely attacked him. Watch this. He bangs him right back, and you see them counting for the knockdown. A different angle of it. Bang! He nails him with a right hand. It puts him right back. And you see the eyes are wide open right there. And at that stage, I was standing almost right on top of him. Here it is, bang! It's a left hook, and that's all there is to it. That angle shows you exactly what it was. The man couldn't move. Just sprawled right out. There was no question when he went down. And now the question is, who in this world has any chance against this man? Frank Bruno has to be totally intimidated. Look at the leg quivering there. This guy is the strongest, most intimidating fighter since Sonny Liston.
Wow, 91 seconds. And think about this. Michael Spinks, again, Olympic champion, light heavyweight champion, won the heavyweight title from you, Larry. Again, split decision disputed, but still had the title. 31-0, unbeaten going into that fight, and he's taken apart by a 21-year-old Mike Tyson. Here's Tyson right after this fight.
When I came in the ring and I looked at him, I could see in his face and I saw the fear and I knew it was going to be a first-round knockout. He could either be very scared and fight like he did and just try to look for a cut or get lucky and look for a knockout, or either he could run around all night. And he took the best option is to fight.
Larry, what do you think watching this fight? Again, no matter what anybody thought about who won those fights with you and Spinks, it was close. It was tight. You were at the top of the division, the longtime king. And he gets destroyed in 91 seconds. How does that happen?
Well, I knew that would happen because Mike is more of an aggressive than I am. He comes straight at you, throw those punches, and if Spinks was not able to get away from that, he's going to get caught. Mike Tyson had devastating power then, and he still possesses it.
There was a moment before the fight that dictated what happened. Butch Lewis, Spinks' manager, goes into Mike Tyson's dressing room, demanding to see the tape and have it rewrapped on his hand. Tyson, who was a nervous ball of energy before every fight, didn't really put up with this well, thank you. Got so aggravated and upset, he hit the wall, literally with his fist. Unfortunately, the plywood, which is what it was, or plasterboard, his fist went right through the wall. In the adjoining room was a man named Michael Spinks sitting on his table, and a fist just went under his nose.
Not quite literally, Bert, but he heard the pounding from the wall. It didn't go through the wall.
It went through the wall.
Through the wall,
Plasterboard.
to the other side.
But not under his nose.
Not under his nose. Teddy, what are your thoughts as far as just a horrible style matchup, or what are your thoughts on this?
Well, you had a light heavyweight, a guy who was light heavyweight. He wasn't big enough, strong enough for Tyson, who was a big, strong, fast heavyweight. And I think Spinks mentally was defeated to a certain extent, what, of course, Bert is touching on before the fight started. He was looking to get lucky. You don't look to get lucky with a Tyson. He was looking to land one punch and make things easier for himself by landing that one punch. With a guy like Tyson, who's weak mentally himself, you have to be there for the long stay. You have to be willing to commit yourself technically, physically, and mentally to a fight where you're going to get him into deep waters and where you know going into the fight that you're going to be able to take him to that place. He wasn't prepared to take him to that place. Throwing the right hands the way he was throwing it, he was hoping to catch Tyson, and that's exactly the kind of game plan that would not work.
Bert, let me ask you this, and little did we know at the time, but at the age of 21, this is the high water mark already, because after this he gets rid of Kevin Rooney, and after this things get crazy. But is he given enough credit for this win? Is it devalued because of the way he won? It's almost as if, again, revisionist history, oh, well, he never fought anybody. Well, Michael Spinks was somebody, and he took him out very quickly.
This is probably his biggest win. Really. I mean, Larry's the biggest name, but Larry, as we know, didn't train, et cetera, et cetera. Spinks was given a lot of potential credit. Spinks was thought that he had a good chance. Some people picked him to win. As he said, 31-0, somebody's has got to go because they both were undefeated. So there was a split decision in the pre-fight analysis by the guess your weight merchants. So I think he gets a lot of credit for this, but after this.
Right, but he should get credit for this, for anybody who said, well, look, who did he really fight? Spinks was somebody. Now, things get crazy after this, and Teddy, this is where he's in the paper every single day, basically, on the Post and the Daily News, and this craziness with Ruth Roper and Robin Givens, Don King lurking in the background. He fires Kevin Rooney. Kevin Rooney doesn't even hear about it. He has to read about it in the papers. What, just your...
Yes, and Bill Caton gets served papers at the fight that night.
Right. So it's a separation basically from the old ways and a lot of the old guard in Catskill, and things get crazy. What are your thoughts as this? Was this inevitable, or if he had hung in with Rooney, would things have been delayed as far as his slide downward?
I think the writing was on the wall. There was a lot of things that were happening before that, but they weren't kept under the rug, as well as Jim Jacobs and these people, Bill Caton, of course, Cus before he passed away, and of course Rooney, his involvement. They kept it under the rug, but it came out as he became bigger. But I think the writing was on the wall. There was plenty of chronicled incidents before that maybe money made it go away and they were on top of it quicker. But there were things going on. That behavior was already rearing its ugly head. And maybe that lack of character in Tyson was already shown. It was just a matter of him being in a situation where it was really going to come out front. It's kind of like having a friend. You say, hey, gee, after 20 years, he's not my friend no more. No, maybe you never had a set of circumstances that tested him in a situation where you found out if he was a friend. You never had a set of situations, a set of circumstances that tested Tyson's character until later, when you found out that he was very weak in certain areas that you thought he was strong.
I once asked Jimmy Jacobs, when he was fighting 15 times in the first year, every month into the second, why is he fighting so much? Jimmy Jacobs said to keep him out of trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that worked. Larry, what are your thoughts? You went on record as saying that this era was not going to go on and on. And again, he was 21. He had cleaned out the division. What were your thoughts on the future of Tyson?
Well, when I fought Mike Tyson, I told everybody in the press, don't put all the eggs in one basket, because Mike Tyson would be dead or in jail in 4 or 5 years. And when that happened, everybody was calling me and said, how you predict this? Well, it's on the wall. You see it. His action speaks louder than words. Mike Tyson was not ready to be the heavyweight champion of the world. He wanted to be Mr. It, and know it all, do it all, have his own way. But that don't work like that in America.
Yep. Things went downhill from here. But again, this a great moment in Tyson's career as he comes off the win over Michael Spinks, again, effectively cleaning out the division. Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe still not ready at this point. Tyson is still on top even after he fires Kevin Rooney. Coming up next, Tyson takes on England's finest, Frank Bruno, in 1989, that title fight from Las Vegas. We'll have that when we come back.
From this day henceforth, throughout the world, let all who hear your name and feel your presence pay homage with dignity, respect, and honor to you, the undisputed champion, royal majesty, and king of the heavyweight world. Long live the heavyweight king. Long live the king.
Presents an evening of World Championship Boxing. This bout is sanctioned by the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF, and by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Elias Garnham, chairman. The commissioners at ringside this evening are Dr. James Nave, Dwayne Ford, Freddie Little, and Jay Nady. The executive director is Chuck Minker. This fight sanctioned by the WBC, Jose Suleiman, president, the supervisor, James Nave. By the International Boxing Federation, Bobby Lee, president, Al Goodman, supervisor, and by the WBA, President Gilberto Mendoza, and the supervisors are Dr. James Nave and Santiago Chicas. The officials assigned by the governing bodies for the next bout of the evening. The judges are Jerry Roth of Las Vegas, Omar Mintun of Mexico, Rodolfo Maldonado of Panama. The timekeeper is Mike Lachella. Counting at the knockdowns, Mike Morabito. The attending physicians at ringside, Doctors Flip Omansky, Donald Romeo, and James Game. And your referee is Richard Steele. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing, in the blue corner, fighting out of London, England, weighing in at 228 pounds, or 16 stone 4 pounds, with a professional record of 32 wins, 2 defeats, with 31 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, he is rated number world in the world by the WBC. He is the challenger, Frank Bruno. And in the red corner, from Catskill, New York, weighing 15 stone 8 pounds, or 218 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career, 35 wins, 31 KOs. He is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
All right, they get called to the center of the ring. Let's listen to Richard Steele.
The instructions in the dressing room. I'm cautioning you again. Obey my commands at all times. Is there any questions? Shake hands. Good luck.
There's the stare. We're just about set to go. The undisputed heavyweight championship of the world on the line. Mike is giving away 3.5 inches in height. He's giving away 10 pounds in weight. He's 5 years younger, and he's giving up 11 inches in reach. Some say he has the same disadvantage as a lion going against the zebra. And I'd have to agree. Let's see how quick he starts. Bruno tries to keep him off. Bruno showing that he's not afraid, hanging on. Bruno's already tagged with a right hand. And down goes Bruno for the first time in the fight. The first right hand that caught him, he was down. He'll have to take the standing 8 count.
Hey, you all right?
Bruno's clear, but he knows the power of Mike Tyson. Tyson, if ever there was a guy fighting like a raging bull, it's Mike Tyson. Bruno has all the pride of England standing for him. He gets tagged again by a right hand. He's trying to hang on to Mike and hit. Mike is just looking for an opportunity to cut loose. And Richard Steele warns Frank Bruno about hanging on and hitting Mike Tyson. Tyson pummels him with the right hand. Mike trying to set him up with the left hand. Bruno looks a little wobbly already. Right hand misses Frank Bruno. Bruno has come to try and mix it up. He's hanging on to the head of Tyson. Tyson not affected by any of these blows at all. Tyson just looking to set his man up. He's back on the assault. He tries to reach him inside with a short, crisp shot. Bruno ties him up inside. Again, Richard Steele warns Frank Bruno about hanging on and hitting. Bruno's already been down in round number 1. Tyson hit with a light left hand. Doesn't do anything to him. Tyson back up bouncing. Well, all the questions about distractions have been answered as Tyson attacks. Bruno doing everything he can to try to attack this guy. Don't forget, he's from a very rough area in London. And to be honest with you, a lot of people are thrilled to see this guy making some sort of fight of it. Blood is really coming from the nose of Frank Bruno, and you can see that there's been a point taken away. I don't think points will mean anything by the time this fight's over. But Frank Bruno is trying to make a fight of it. He's hanging on, but Tyson is certainly getting the best of it. He's bleeding from the nose. He was down in the very early seconds as Tyson nails him with the uppercut. Now Frank comes very slowly across the ring. He knows he's in with a bull. Tyson gets nailed with a left hook. Tyson looks wobbly as he attacks Bruno. Bruno continues to throw. Tyson was caught and wobbled. Tyson looks clear, but he was caught by a shot by Frank Bruno. Tyson trying to fight back, and Bruno did catch him with a shot. That's the first time I've seen anything like Tyson staggered. Tyson was definitely set back in his tracks there. Inside of 20 seconds to go in the round. Bruno has got him tied up. Mike Tyson doesn't seem to have that fiery look in his eyes right now as he lunges for the challenger. Inside of 10 seconds to go, as you see. A bell ends round number 1, and the crowd loves it. So Bruno went down but not hurt, and Bruno tagged Tyson and did hurt him. Watch this now, and let's see just how it happened. There was a short right hand that caught Bruno. He was wobbled, and then another right hand kind of up over the shoulder caught him off balance, and you notice Tyson never stopped swinging. There's the short right that has him in trouble. Right now, he's wobbled on his legs, and then it's up in the top of the back of the head, but he's not hurt here at all. And then, of course, Richard Steele moves in. And there's the right hand that caught Tyson and buckled his legs. And that's the first time we've seen him in an awkward position. Here's Tyson moving in. It'll be interesting to see if he's like a wild man in round 2. And it looks like he's ready to be a wild man in round 2. So Frank Bruno came to fight. Surprised Tyson by catching him in the first round. He's nailed again with that inside right hand. Bruno vulnerable to that right hand in close.
Punch and get out. Get your arm back.
Tyson continues to come in. Bruno continues to hang on when he does come in. We wanted to take time to welcome all our friends in Australia, New Zealand, and people watching all over the world, but the fight's been so fast and so exciting, it's hard to do that. But a special hello to Chris Myrams in Wellington, New Zealand, and all of the brothers and sisters, and especially David Fox, our producer, his sister, who's also watching in New Zealand. Welcome, New Zealand and Australia. People all over Africa, the Middle East, we're thrilled to have you on the Mike Tyson Network here. Bob Sheridan bringing this fight to you, and hope that you're enjoying the fast pace. Frank Bruno came to fight. He was down for just a second in the first round, and the chant from the better than 5,000 British subjects that are here cheering for Bruno to do something against Tyson. Bruno, of course, has a magnificent body. Tagged with a short, crisp right hand in the first round, which made us all think, well, that's what all was going to happen. But then Bruno suddenly caught Mike Tyson with a shot in the first round.
There we go.
Tyson looking for the shot to the body and then to deliver that right hand to the head. Right now, the superior height and the long reach of Frank Bruno seems to be working to his advantage, but Tyson doesn't get frustrated. He just looks to throw the shot. Bruno was able to block that shot that time. You see Frank continuing to hold with a left hand behind the head of Mike Tyson. Left hook to the body. Tyson attacks with a left of his own. He catches Bruno with a nice left uppercut. This infighting here, Bruno's a very strong guy himself. Don't forget, he has 30 knockouts and 32 wins himself, so he can punch. Tyson misses wild with the left uppercut.
Come on, work and get out. Don't hold it, Frank.
So far, the big heavy blow, Bruno's been able to escape. The right hand catches Bruno. Left hook. Bruno looks ready to go. Now is when he's going to hang on. And he does. He has the ring sense and wherewithal to hang on. Tyson knows that he can catch up with Bruno right now. Bruno trying to keep him off. And the bell ends round number 2. And here we go with round 3. A lot of people didn't expect it to go this far. In fact, for the betting public, round 3 is an important round. The over and under is round 3 for this fight. So if the fight goes beyond round 3, there'll be a lot of happy people that pick 4 and above. Of course, this is the betting capital of the world, and people are interested in that around here. You people watching around the world, we've seen a better fight than we expected so far. You get the idea that Mike Tyson will catch up with Frank Bruno, and your heart's almost with Frank to hope he can make a good fight of it. Frank Bruno, the big, almost chisel-cut body in such magnificent shape. Big, vicious body shot taken right underneath the heart of Frank Bruno. Tyson really punished his body with that shot. Didn't seem to bother Bruno, though. Bruno is going to stop pawing with that left hand and get a punch off. Mike catches him with a good left hook, and Bruno has the wherewithal to hang on to him. Both guys hanging on with the kind of the right arm and wailing away with the other hand. Tyson, lightning hands, looking for the opportunity to land that right hand on the chin of Frank Bruno. And again, you just have the feeling it's a matter of time. And it's not that Tyson's toying with him, it's that Tyson is looking for the opportunity. Don't forget, Bruno did catch Tyson in the first round with a pretty good shot.
Come on, Party, get out. Don't hold him, Frank.
Bruno has got to throw some heavier stuff, though. He's pawing with the left hand. He's got to let the right hand fly. He's got to double with that jab. What he's satisfied to do is to kind of hang on to the head and kind of paw at him with his right hand. He's got to try and get off with that right hand better. Tyson with a short assault. Nothing there. Tyson has a lot of movement where Frank Bruno is just kind of a stand-up guy, almost tailor-made for Tyson. That time he caught him with a body shot. The height advantage that Bruno has and the reach advantage really is an advantage too, Frank Bruno. But again, you still get the idea that it's a question of time before Mike catches him. Has some real good shots there, not catching flush, but nonetheless scoring. Mike Tyson is in control of the fight, and Bruno, if he hopes to win, has got to let that right hand fly. Bruno's idea is to try and get this guy inside, and as soon as he comes in and hits him, hang on to him. There's a little bit more game than Bone Crusher Smith was in his fight. Bruno at no stage inside is going to give Tyson both hands free. They continue to fight after the bell. Tyson really has a look of annoyance on his face, and he has no intentions of doing anything but trying to control this guy as best he can.
Gotta work his gut more.
Vicious looking guy. Look at him. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell as the big right hand lands. Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele has moved in and has stopped the fight.
Don't walk straight in. That's what he's waiting for.
Finish him off. Right hand, left hook, right hand, left hook, right hand, left hook. All right. Come on. Gotta use a lot of sevens to get in here. Stay inside. All right? Stay inside. Be mean in the inside. Start digging them body shots.
That's Aaron Snowell working the corner of Mike Tyson. Don't forget, Tyson has a whole new corner. Aaron Snowell, Jay Bright, and Taylor Smith. Terry Lawless and George Francis, the keys. All right, here we go, round 4. Bob Sheridan here. It looks like Bruno could be hurt a bit.
Watch your head, Mike. Watch your head.
Tyson just really bores in like a madman almost. Frank has got to start throwing that right hand. Tyson is almost measuring him now.
Step back, step back, step back.
Again, this is round 4. It's scheduled for 12. A lot of people didn't think we'd get to the 4th round in this fight. If you've just joined us for one reason or another, Frank Bruno was down in the 1st round, but it wasn't a serious knockdown. He wasn't wobbled, really hurt at all. And then he later caught Mike Tyson, and for the first time in his career, I saw Tyson a little wobbly on his legs. But he recovered from that in fine shape. And then Richard Steele had to take a point away as well in the 1st round from Bruno by hanging on and holding.
Watch it get out. You're holding. Let's work this out and get out. Great. Step back,
So
step
what would have been a 10-8 round would have to be scored 10-7. And that puts Tyson way out in front in the fight. Bruno is caught by a right hand and a left hook. Bruno comes back and catches Tyson. Right hand cut Bruno right in the forehead, followed up by the left hook.
Step back, step back. Don't hold his hand.
Bruno has got to throw that right hand more and try to catch Tyson with a left hook.
Come on, punch it out.
He seems to be satisfied to let Tyson bore in on him and just hold him. Vicious body shot.
Come on, keep punching inside of
It's those body shots that Tyson is able to score that has softened up so many of an opponent before. Bruno does not seem to be intimidated, and his fight plan is to try to frustrate Tyson as much as he can by hanging on to him, by tying him up when he comes inside. That light, ooh, another right hand gets through.
Come on, punch it, get out of there. Get your arms back, pull them back. Come on, Mike, pull your arms back and punch it, get out. Let's go, Frank. All right, break.
Richard Steele, the 3rd man in the ring, doing an excellent job considering the style that Bruno is fighting here. Bruno again lets Tyson come in, and again he hangs on.
Step back. Keep it up. Keep it clean.
Very tough fight to referee the way Bruno's fighting it. But Tyson doesn't get frustrated. He just goes about his business of trying to win each round.
Step back. Don't hold him, Mike. Let him go.
Bruno is such a much bigger figure than Mike Tyson, but Tyson is just so strong, and his hands are so quick. Uppercut comes that time. We're in the closing seconds now of round 4. The bell ends round number 4. And the crowd in England loves it.
And welcome back. Brian Kenny back here with you in Brooklyn. I'm here at Gleason's Gym for ESPN Classic's Mike Tyson Marathon. Coming up, we'll have the conclusion of 1989's Tyson-Bruno 1 from Las Vegas. And in the next hour, stay tuned for Tyson's historic title bout against Buster Douglas from Japan's Tokyo Dome. And we'll also be checking back in with Bert Sugar and Tyson's former trainer Teddy Atlas for analysis and anecdotes. This is Ringside, Mike Tyson on ESPN Classic.
As the rounds go by, this man, Frank Bruno, gains a little bit more confidence. All right, here we go with round number 5. And Tyson attacks immediately.
Come on, punch to get out of there. All right, break. Stop it. Let him go.
Remember, Bruno was doing a pretty good job throughout a good portion of the fight against Tim Witherspoon, and it was in the later rounds that, you know, those big, heavy muscles begin to catch up with you. Because Tyson's a big, strong guy, too, but we know he can go to 12. His last time out against Bugner, Bruno had to go 8 rounds. Before that, he went 8 against Reggie Gross in Marbella. Tyson, on the other hand, 1 round his last time out against Michael Spinks. And he hasn't fought since June. We're in round 5, an area where many a boxing observer never thought we'd be. Most people thought this thing would end in round 1 or 2. So Bruno attempting to make a better fight of this than most people thought possible. He's lost every round, make no mistake about that.
Last warning.
Richard Steele continues to warn Bruno about hanging on and hitting.
Punch to get out.
As you watch the fight, I know that you folks watching at home, that Mike Tyson is so strong, but you almost feel for Bruno. You want to see him do well against the champion. He throws the right hand. Every time that Frank Bruno does the slightest thing good, the crowd here really roars. This place seats about 8,000 or 9,000 here at the Hilton Hotel. Bruno was caught that time, and Tyson knows it. Tyson trying to attack now to finish him off. Bruno has the wherewithal to hang on. The uppercut comes. Tyson gives him room to come off the ropes. Scores with the uppercut. Lands a big right hand. Bruno's in big trouble now. He's ready to go. He hits him with a right hand. Bruno trying to hang on as best he can. He's still in big trouble. The uppercut catches him. The right hand catches him. He's really being hit now. Blood coming from the nose. His eyes are puffy. Tyson is punishing Frank Bruno right now. Bruno tries to hang on. Probably what he should do is get down to his knee and take an 8 count instead of letting this guy nail him with a flush right hand.
Let him go.
This is round 5. Remember, a fighter cannot be saved by the bell as the big right hand lands. Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele has moved in and has stopped the fight. It's all over. Michael Tyson wins on a 5th round TKO. It came at 2:55. That's unofficial. We'll get that officially. It came at 2:55 of the 5th round. Mike Tyson punish and pummeling Frank Bruno.
Thank you.
Bruno did the best he could do to make a go of it. But there was no question, Mike Tyson, a superior fighter.
All right, so Mike Tyson takes care of Frank Bruno. Next up would be a 1-round knockout of Carl the Truth Williams. And after that, James Buster Douglas. We're going to set the scene here, and of course, the seeds are sown for the fall of Tyson. Not many people really see it, though. Again, Kevin Rooney is out of the picture. Training habits aren't the same, and yet so many things had to happen to put together one of the greatest upsets in the history of sports. What's your read on Buster Douglas?
The reason he won, at least in my humble opinion, that fight, and he was something he had never been. He had always been a guy that had talent, had a good jab, had good ability, physically could do things, but he had never been a guy with a constitution, with a will, with character, so to speak, with an inside. The one thing that I think won that fight for him, God bless her, was his mother passing away at that time. That was the opposite of what everyone thought. No, how could you fight when your mother died? No, that's what gave him something for the first time in his life to do the opposite, to stand in there and to fight, because Tyson couldn't hurt him. Tyson couldn't scare him because he had already been hurt by something far greater than that, the loss of his mother, his best friend.
There was also this, you have to understand, this fight was basically considered a joke. Anything he did was a major, major upset, beside the fact that he did what he did. I asked Eddie Schuyler, and no major papers sent anybody over to Tokyo. They thought it was a done deal.
Just the AP then.
Eddie Schuyler, Associated Press. I said, how long are you going to be in Japan? He said, 1 minute and 33 seconds. Los Angeles Times doesn't send anybody. Their line is, quote, Buster Douglas is a #1 rated contender in the latest ring ratings by Mad Magazine. And theoretically, he's 42-1 underdog, and nobody knows where those odds were or who bet him or what casino. But whatever it is, this is all set up to be exactly what it is. A massive surprise, shocking as it comes out.
Teddy, what's your evaluation of round one as we're watching it here? And look, Douglas is an enormous guy. He's a big, big man. He snaps out a double, a triple jab at times. Looks very good. Is this a bad style matchup, or is this a champ who has stopped training seriously?
No, there was always potential bad style matchup for Tyson, but the problem was they didn't stay with it. You know, once they got hit, they went away, or they didn't drive themselves far enough down the road. They would only go for a short sprint. Tyson was good in sprints. He wasn't good in marathons. He wasn't good in mile distances. This guy, the most important thing was, yeah, he was showing that he could control distance, he could control range, he could counterpunch, he could look for the uppercut as Tyson was coming forward, but most important, he was consistent. He wasn't fading. He wasn't going away. He wasn't intimidated. And he wasn't going to be just put out of this fight because Tyson was going to put pressure on him. He was there with a mission. And again, fate sometimes gets involved. But with some of the great upsets in baseball, football, basketball, just some fickle fate gets involved. And I believe, as unfortunate as it was for his mother to die, that was the missing piece. That's what allowed him to have the strength that in the past he never had, and the strength to make a Tyson show his flaws.
So this was boxing's version, if you will, on a family basis of winning one for the Gipper.
Yeah, yeah.
He went out there to win it for his mama.
Look, if I was in a courtroom and you said, all right, counselor, give Exhibit B now, give it Exhibit A. Well, to me, that exhibit would be, what did he do in his next fight after he won the title against Holyfield? He went back to what he was because he didn't have. And did he have a tougher guy in front of him than Holyfield? Maybe in some ways, but not in a way as far as myth, as far as physical things that he had to deal with dangers of power. Not in that way, but he had already done what he had to do. He satisfied his mother's memory, and he fought that fight with his mother. That was gone, and he went back to the old Douglas. He came in fat, he came in overweight, and he didn't have a great resiliency to his spirit.
But in Tokyo, he was marvelous. Much more Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas in 1990 when we come back.
Now you ask yourself a question here as we start round number 2. The Tokyo Dome, of course, Mike Tyson in his traditional black trunks, James Buster Douglas in white, already has gone further than some of the opponents of Mike Tyson. namely the last opponent, Carl the Truth Williams, last July, was felled in the first round.
Hey, don't do that. Break.
And there was a lot of people that didn't expect Buster, quite honestly, to get through the first round, and that's why Don King has brought this show on the road. Look at Buster landing some shots here. Now, he has him back Mike up. Mike standing straight in front of him. Look at this, Buster landing some shots. This is surprising here. Getting the jab through, stopping Mike. Mike comes through, leans to the right, and then throws that left hook. You still just get the idea that when is Mike going to explode? You've seen it so many times before. And I still have to say to this point, Buster hanging in there pretty good. Now he ties him up, and referee Moran has to separate the two. Mike comes through and misses the jab. You know, a lot of psychology involved with this fight. Before the fight, you heard about Buster Douglas' mom passed away a short time ago, and he's dedicated this fight to his mother, and he had a bit of a cold this week, but that didn't seem to bother him. This is the biggest night of his life. Midway through the second round, a place that many of us thought we might not see. Hey, there's a grazing right hand gets through. The left hand again by Douglas. Surprisingly, here in the second round, this is Douglas's round in the second. The first round probably would be scored more even by the judges because they wouldn't pick up immediately what Buster Douglas was doing. And we, of course, have the advantage of the fellas in the truck that have the punch stat information actually telling us that Mike Tyson only landed a few punches in the first round. But definitely Buster is winning the second round, which is very surprising. Of course, Mike at any time lands that big shot. And that's the exciting thing about the heavyweight division, because one punch can end it all, but certainly change the tide of the fight immediately. Right now, it's a better fight than we ever dreamed of here in Tokyo. But you still, as I said before, get the feeling, well, as Larry Rezadio says, hey, watch that head, Mike, when you come in. Said Larry Rezadio. He's the judge. We're actually talking about Octavio Moran. Oh, an uppercut got through that time by Buster. Look at this, Buster landing some shots here. Well, one thing for sure, he's come to fight.
Okay.
This is as good as we've ever seen Buster Douglas, even in the fight against Tony Tucker, which was a real tough fight. Buster looked very good in the early going of that IBF championship fight, and then as the bell ends round number 2, Buster kind of went by the wayside. And at his size, maybe it's a strategy of Aaron Snowell and Mike Tyson to just kind of, you know, make a fight of it through the early going and then catch up with them in the later rounds with a big shot. If that's the strategy, then it's working, because certainly Buster Douglas is using a lot of energy to this point.